So I'm pretty sure I saw a picture before. You did get to meet Obama, didn't you, when you were a Marine?
Yeah, a bunch of times. Yeah, so I was during the Obama administration.
Yeah.
And when you're there, so the Camp David is a presidential retreat. So it can be used just as his vacation area. It's just outside of D.C., just a helicopter flight away. And so he would go there, he would land, and he could just use it as like time off, which he mainly did. But it's also a place the First Lady, so Michelle Obama, could go up there, and she's treated the same. They might bring friends, literally just like high school friends or someone important, other world leaders that they would bring there and kind of entertain them. So it's just like a retreat hotel type idea that just for the president. And he would go there often. He didn't, but when he was there, we provide security. We are not there to hang out and fraternize and shoot the breeze with the president. So there were times when I got to meet him formally, and then a couple times where I got to meet him just informally, running into him. He, in fact, one time he came into the gym while I was lifting, and my lifting session was interrupted by the president of the United States, and I was pissed. I was squatting, and I knew he was there. The rule is if he goes into your area, so if there's a basketball court. If you're there playing basketball and he shows up, you got to leave. You can't be like, hey, you want to play a game? And like talk to him. Like you have to get out of the way. If he was to stop and say, hey, Marine, come play basketball with me. Sure, you can, but you can't. Like you're supposed to leave this space open to him, and the gym is included too. I was there early in the morning because I knew he was there on Camp David, and I thought I want to get my workout in early so that he doesn't interrupt it. And so I was doing my workout with my roommate at the time. We were doing squats, and I just did like my first working set, and he comes walking in, and it was so wild to see him because he had just woken up. He didn't have any makeup on. His hair was like kind of matted, and
I didn't know he wore makeup.
Not done. When he's doing, he's got to have some like blush or something on, because when looking at him, I'm serious. Or some foundation, because looking at him, he looked old when he came in, like wrinkles, freckles. Maybe it was just because I was so close to him. But I've met him before officially, like in formation. He comes and like shakes your hand, and he looked like he normally looks. But just seeing him out of bed, maybe he just had sleep in his eyes. I don't know. He's wearing like a wrinkled gray Nike shirt and basketball shorts, and he comes in, and I turn around and I see him, and in my head I'm like, damn it, the president's here. So I'm like, I gotta finish up, and you have to casually act like you're leaving. So I grab my stuff, I put my weights away, and I'm walking out, and he stops us as we're walking. I said, whatever, good morning, Mr. President, or something like that. And he says, you Marines aren't leaving because of me, are you? No, of course not. We're finished. And I was hoping he was going to say, please stay, just so I could finish working out. Not even because he was there, but he was just like, oh, okay, well, that's good to hear. And we we had to leave. But yeah, so you would run into him sometimes like that.
Did you not think of saying like, we were like leaving because of you? Or is that like frowned upon? And you're not allowed to say that?
We're told don't ask permission or don't get out of there.
Right.
So, but honestly, if he was pushing like, hey, stay. Hey, maybe you could take a look at my squat form. That would have been tight. But if he was to say something like that then yes, I would be like, yeah, can you give me a spot? I'm going 315 on bench. But I so it was definitely like you just have to like, no, it's not your fault, so we had to leave. But I'm like, man, I didn't get my workout in. So there'd be times when you run into him like that. But yeah, it's not a place where you can just like hang out, with the president.
So
there's a bar on base where a lot of the Marines will go and drink. And apparently I was not there during the Bush administration, but apparently he would go there unannounced and tell the Marines to stay and drink with the Marines, which is cool. But
yeah, that's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
So was that sort of like the extent of your conversation with Barack Obama, just at that time in the gym? Did you never really have more of a conversation with him than that?
No, that was it. The other time was just formalities, like, hey, Marine, how are you? Where are you from? Just stuff like that. Never.
Did you come across like a nice guy, though, like in the flesh?
Yes. So I will say, I'm not like, don't want to trash talk the dude, but he, when I first met him, when he landed on the plane or on the helicopter, and he came out, I'll say that he looked very tired,
Right.
and he was definitely like dropping his pack. You know, like I'm sure I couldn't imagine being the president of the United States, but he looked very tired. He gave me a handshake, and it was the weakest handshake I've ever felt. I was like, come on,
Really?
this is I was like, I get to shake hands with I'm granted.
Yeah.
This dude's giving handshakes to like thousands of people, you know, like, but I'm like, this is my one handshake with the president. And it was just he's just a dead fish, put his hand out like limp like that. And when I went to grab, I didn't want to like look at his hand. I was looking at him, you know, and I'm giving him eye contact. And I like it's one of those handshakes where you just grab his fingers pretty much. And I'm like, what a shitty handshake. And,
that's the worst.
But it was just this like cold hand, and he just like put a limp wrist and lift hand out. And I'm just like, man, that was the weakest handshake I've ever felt. Like the president.
This is
of
like
the
the
States,
leader
you know?
of the Western world,
Yes.
you know, like.
Yeah.